Here at the Kohl Center in Madison on Bob Johnson Rink. It's Wisconsin and Minnesota. I mentioned the 287th meeting, and there's Wisconsin starting goaltender tonight, Daniel Lebedev, only the third Finnish player to skate for the Wisconsin Badgers, and he's been pretty good too, Bill. 2-1 at 202 goals against.
First opportunity for back-to-back starts for the freshman, and they've been waiting for a goaltender to emerge. Jack Barry's got some injury problems. He tweaked his back, so he's a little subpar, and they go to Lebedev to try to come up with a second straight strong performance. He saw a lot of shots last week, and Matt Robson is the starter for the fifth time this year. He's been one of two goaltenders. Eric Scherhorn, a veteran, the other guy for the Gophers.
So we're underway. Wisconsin in its Cardinal and white home uniform. Minnesota maroon and gold. Eventually you'll see the forward lines, the defensive pairs on your screen here tonight. The puck flipped over the glass and out of play. These teams have met now. This is the 21st meeting between these teams in Big Ten play. The Gophers have won 12 with 6 losses and 2 ties. You see the referees here tonight as well. Badgers with the puck in the offensive zone. Minnesota native Josh S. dumped it down in. Sean Doogie, number 24, all 5'3" of them, gave chase but couldn't reach the puck. Now here's Tarek Baker, who we featured in our open tonight. Baker takes a tumble across the blue line, nothing called. Back to play at Clayton Phillips, fine-looking sophomore defenseman from Edina for the maroon and gold. And now the Badgers' Wyatt Kalnick has the puck. Last year these teams played 4 times. Gophers won 3 and spoiled Wisconsin's senior weekend last February with 4-2 and 7-1 victories. My goodness.
Yeah, full house here, and boy, they spoiled the party. Got 3 goals in the first 5 minutes, and the big crowd didn't have much to cheer about.
Stick handling Rem Pitlick. He's a talented young man, as you in Minnesota certainly know, and his shot denied by Daniel Lebedev, who made 32 saves against North Dakota last Saturday night, including 17 on the penalty kill. Didn't see the final shot of the game. It came early in overtime during North Dakota's 5-on-3 power play. Nice pass left wing, and Novak's shot kicked out by Lebedev. Rebound kicked through the slot and gathered in by Wisconsin's Keandre Miller to Roman Ashawn. Pass for Miller, broken up. Ashawn's got it now. Ashawn's a Minnesota native too. Little give and go, didn't work that time from Dominic Mursh, and collected now by Minnesota. Gophers will skate it up, and that's their top line right winger, Blake McLaughlin. Badgers after it now near side. Good hustle by Ashawn to get the puck. He feeds Brock Caulfield, Mosinee, Wisconsin native, and he puts it on net, and Robson easily steers it aside. Now banked out by Tommy Novak, a River Falls, Wisconsin native. Here's good hustle by Sampo Ranson, Wisconsin captain Peter Tischke, and he continues to pressure before Tischke able to work the puck free.
Both these teams like to skate. We haven't had a whistle in the first 2 minutes. So it should be up and down hockey most of the weekend.
Badgers averaging 3.6 goals per game and 4.5 goals at home, and they've gone 3-1 in those 4 home games. Minnesota averaging 2.2 goals per game, 45th out of 60 teams in Division I college hockey. Turnover. Here's Matt Freitag. Snaps one off. Glove save made by Robson. And he hangs on for a faceoff. Freitag, who's yet to score this season, at 9 as a junior a year ago. Let's take a look at our impact player to watch, presented by McFarland's Retail Service Center. Bill?
Ty Emberson's a freshman from Eau Claire. Been a lot of good players from Eau Claire that have played for the Badgers. Emberson, the latest in the line, compared up with Keandre Miller, and they've been a pretty good tandem of late. Emberson came from playing in Ann Arbor the last 2 years. He's got Minnesota ties. His grandfather, Denny, is a heck of a pitcher for Dick Siebert's Minnesota team, which won the College World Series in 1964.
A pretty good hockey player, too. He's in Minnesota's Hall of Fame, Athletics Hall of Fame. Turnaround shot blocked. Baker tried to move in front of the net. He's with Sean Doogie and Jack Dorniak on this forward line. Badgers minus their top line left wing, Linus Weisbach, the sophomore from Sweden, who had 10 goals and 26 points last season. He broke his right hand while taking a shot in practice last Monday, and is unavailable this weekend. May not play next weekend, most likely will not. Possibly after that at Michigan, or maybe when the Badgers return to the Kohl Center to play Penn State. Doogie bumps it off the end boards. Max Zimmer knocks down the defender Clayton Phillips, who sits on the puck, and we get a whistle. 16:46 left in the first here. The Badgers and the Gophers now exchanging a couple of blows, and the referees need to get active here. Here's Tony Granato, 3rd season with the Badgers. You see he's got a 500 record, 500 percentage there. I can do my math. 38, 38, and 5. That's 500, isn't it?
Yeah, very good. Granato 4 and 6 in his career against Minnesota. Looking out there is Doogie, who plays a lot like Tony Granato, stirring things up after the whistle behind the net.
Sean Doogie got off to a red-hot start this season. There's Bob Motzko, the new head coach of the Minnesota Golden Gophers, who in 13 years at St. Cloud won 276 games, went to the NCAA tournament 8 times, the Frozen Four in 2013, and his team was the #1 seed in the NCAA tournament a year ago and got upset in the first round by Air Force 4-1.
And you can see Motzko not too crazy about the matching penalties caused by Doogie behind the play. I believe he didn't have to be a great lip reader to say, well, Motzko thought, what's that? But calling things tight here early, and it's 4 aside for the next 2 minutes.
Darian Romenko, the freshman, beg your pardon, senior from Shoreview, Minnesota, is in the box. Shot by Zimmer from the high slot, saved by Robson. Almost snuck underneath him, but he kept his glove and arm along the left side of his body and gave up no rebound. So Romenko takes a seat in the Minnesota penalty box. Sean Doogie for Wisconsin, matching Miners, and we'll skate 4-on-4 here for a little while.
Mankato and North Dakota had success playing physically against the free skating Gophers. But that really isn't Wisconsin's style. They usually like to go up and down.
16:46 the time of the penalty. Shot by Emberson was deflected. May have hit Brock Caulfield, his teammate. Now behind the net, it's Roman Ashad. Little flip pass for Emberson. Didn't get through. Tie against Tommy Novak near side wall. Eventually pulled out of there by Tyler Nanny, the junior defenseman from Edina. Up to Novak now. Peels away from Emberson. Flips a pass far side. Caught. Glove shot by Wisconsin goaltender Daniel Lebedev on a left wing drive that time on the Gophers rush, and that came off the stick of the defenseman Phillips, so a face-off to come.
Last time we had 2 Finnish players in the rink at the same time.
Right? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Well, actually, it happened last Saturday in Grand Forks when Jesper Peltonen played his first game for the Badgers, and Daniel Lebedev was in goal.
And they skated all 9 freshmen in the series finale against North Dakota in Grand Forks.
Mentioned Minnesota against Minnesota State last weekend, lost 5-1, and after the game, Bob Motzko was quoted as saying, "There's a cuteness about our game that does not belong in hockey, and it needs to be eliminated." And he was very pleased with the response on Saturday against the Mavericks when the Gophers lost 2-1, but he thought there was more heart and soul in that effort in the finale.
C.J. Berline explaining to both coaches that the penalty clock is not working.
Yeah.
Neither too crazy about that fact, but anyway, the both benches have been apprised, and they keep it. The minor officials keep track of the penalty time down in the penalty box. Yeah, the
teams will be back at full strength at the 14:46 mark. Badgers Baker out there with Caulfield for the time being. Cross ice pass to the defenseman Jack Sadak, who kind of shanked the shot to the end boards, and then he gathered it in. Back behind the net now, Rem Pitlick works away from S. Spins it out to Zulsdorf, the defenseman. Ranta wanted it. Zulsdorf didn't give it to him. Now he plays away from Baker, finds the open Sadak. Toe pull, shoots one. Oh, he hit the far side post, and it ricochets out of play. Jack Sadak, who's played in his 93rd game tonight, has 6 career goals, and he beat Lebedev blocker side, but it rung the iron.
Best chance of the night for the Gophers. You can see Lebedev benefited from iron. Each team with 5 shots in the early going. I didn't credit him with a shot on goal there.
Jack Sadak, a 7th round draft choice of the Minnesota Wild in 2015, had a couple of goals, 9 points as a junior a year ago. Won a state title at Lakeville North High School back in 2015. Here's Jack Gorniak, Badgers freshman. Tischke, Kalnick, shot got through, blocker save Robson. On the near side wall, Seamus Malone lost it. Kalnick there at the point and sweeps it back in. Robson out of his net to play it around to the near side, and here comes Phillips. Sammy Walker out there, number 9 as well, teamed with co-captain Brent Gates. Gates will give chase, half boards right. He's got the puck. Cross ice now, it's Walker. Walker against Inamoto, and Tyler wouldn't let him walk him. And Inamoto took the puck away and then slides it ahead. Gorniak couldn't catch, but Wisconsin's Malone does. Badgers need a change. Both teams are at full strength. Loose puck. There's Mick Mesner, number 12, the Madison native. Gophers get it and fling it out to center, and Wisconsin's Keandre Miller goes to get it. Number 22 overall draft pick was past year's NHL draft by the New York Rangers. Gave the puck away, helped get it back to Sean Doogie. And then Doogie had it batted off his stick by Novak, and the Badgers will try again.
Miller's a transplanted forward, just learning how to play defense. And boy, he's an impressive player out of Minnetonka, Minnesota. One of 5 Minnesota natives playing against the Gophers this weekend.
Assisted +2 last Saturday night in Grand Forks for Keandre Miller. He's got 2 goals, 8 points so far. And is +9 to lead the squad. Here's Nanny. Cross ice he goes. Novak waddles his way in and then puts one on net. And Lebedev just puts his mitt down and covers it up. Not a lot of good scoring chances so far tonight. Jack Sadek, the defenseman for Minnesota, gave the Gophers their best look, but he hit the far side post. Wisconsin and Minnesota scoreless here early at Madison. Wisconsin and Minnesota no score. Bob Motzko, we mentioned, first-year head coach of the Golden Gophers, helped Team USA win World Junior Championship in 2017 and then a bronze in 2018. He's got assistant coaches Garrett Raboyne and Ben Gordon. And Gordon played for Minnesota. Raboyne was a standout defenseman at St. Cloud State. He's got a couple of graduate assistants, too, former Gophers, Ryan Patolny and Stu Bickel.
Raboyne was with Bob in St. Cloud, where Motzko won 276 games in 13 years. That's an average of over 20 a year. And he certainly put St. Cloud hockey on the map. He's a good coach.
And Brett Larson off to a pretty good start with the Huskies this year, too.
Yeah, the cupboard is hardly bare for Brett Larson.
When he left Minnesota Duluth after winning his second national championship as an assistant to Scott Sandelin. Badgers get a change here. Out comes the top line of Max Zimmer, Seamus Malone, and Will Johnson. Loose puck, Zimmer ahead to Johnson. Redirected into the attacking zone, but collected by Ben Brinkman, a freshman defenseman from Edina. They've got 7 Edina natives on the Minnesota roster. Passed through the slot and out of the reach of Brandon McManus, the sophomore from Newport Beach, California. Will Johnson, number 17 for the Badgers from Santa Barbara, California. Tries to dump it in with a backhand. No luck. Still loose. Pinballing around a little bit. Eventually Ryan Zulsdorf spins it to the near side, and that's where Phillips goes to get it. Leighton Phillips, third-round pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2017. 3 years of junior hockey, USHL with Muskegon and Fargo for Phillips. There's Pitlick now out to the point, and Zulsdorf pressured immediately by Max Zimmer, who won the puck streak. Can Baker beat Zulsdorf to it? No. Zulsdorf now pressured by Sean Doogie. The puck slides free down to the Minnesota zone. Not a ton of action so far, although here comes Pitlick. He'll tee one up. Glove save made by Lebedev out on top of his crease. And he hangs on for a faceoff. Lebedev is athletic. He's quick. He's got a good glove hand. He made a few spectacular saves on the penalty kill against North Dakota last Saturday night. And had the Badgers won that game, he may have been one of the Big Ten stars of the week.
Good-sized kid at 6'2", 188. Played for both the Madison Capitals and the Janesville Jets the last couple of years, so local junior hockey fans are familiar with him.
Yep. Played for Gary Shuchuk with the Jets in Janesville last year. Gary, former Badger All-American. Deep feed intended for Jack Ramsey, broken up by Wisconsin's Gorniak. Doogie pressures a bit. Ramsey's got it again. He dumps it in off Kalnick and down deep, and Lebedev out of his nets. Taps it along for Kalnick, helps it along the glass to Gorniak. Picked up by Mesner, took a hit. And he plays it ahead. Gorniak with a little burst of speed gets to the puck. Now wiped out by Nanny, but stays on his skates. Mesner bumped off the puck, but he'll pick it up. Centering pass comes all the way out. Kalnick. He shoots one, got through, and Robson made the save in his butterfly and hangs on, and then Freitag and Nanny went at it a little bit. Nanny wants another piece of Matthew Freitag.
And the bitterness in this rivalry, I don't think, is anywhere near what it was. Tony gave everybody a bit of a history lesson going back to the Badger Bob and Herb days at the Coliseum and the old Mariucci Arena. And then it was some real hatred between the two schools. But I think things mellowed out a little in the Jeff Sauer versus Doug Woog years, and maybe even more so with Mike Eaves and against
Don Lucia.
So it's a lot more civil than it used to be in the old days. But
isn't that a shame?
Yeah.
Offside on Minnesota.
But nonetheless, the Big Ten Conference opener at Minnesota and Wisconsin, like Tony said, they can play in tiddlywinks and people get fired up. Your border battle.
Yep. Yeah, since the 2014-15 season, Minnesota's 10-4-2 against Wisconsin and has scored 68 goals in those 16 games. And Minnesota struggling to put the puck in the net so far this season. Only 11 goals in 5 games, but you have to keep in mind playing defending national champion Minnesota Duluth twice. In one of those games, they scored a 7-4 victory. Then you play North Dakota and Las Vegas, lose 3-1, and then Minnesota State, top 5 team at least in the country, and managed only 2 goals in getting swept in that home-and-home series.
They have had a strange schedule. This is the first series all year on a bitter cold November weekend where they're playing back-to-back games against the same team in the same town. They played home-and-home series in Duluth and Mankato in the one-game series at the Orleans Casino.
Bashan, he finds an open man, and Brock Caulfield finishes the play. Good look that time as Caulfield wide open to the right of Robson. He had the entire net to shoot at. Brock Caulfield with his second goal as a Badger, and it's 1-0 Wisconsin.
From turnover there at center ice, and Caulfield makes him pay. LaShawn makes the pass. Caulfield's wide open. Second goal of the year for the freshman from Mosinee. And this energy line of freshmen give the Badgers the early lead at 9:37 of the first period.
So after a feeling out process between the two teams, the Badgers score first at 9:37. Caulfield from Ashawn and Mersch. For Ashawn, that's his 4th assist of the season. For Dominic Mersch, his 3rd. So for a team that struggled on Friday nights after beating Boston College in the season opener, the Badgers have lost 3 straight Friday night games. They've been outscored on Fridays 15-7. If you take out the 3-0 win over BC, it's 15-4. They got the lead here now.
Minnesota's been bothered by the same Friday night bug. They were outplayed badly by Mankato last Friday night and lost to Duluth. That's no big deal, but they wanted to come out stronger than they had on Friday nights.
So far, so good. Levitt back. Drops it off for Wyatt Kalnuck, and now he'll come up. Kalnuck can scoop. Here's Max Zimmer. Stumbles down, maintains possession. Zimmer, cross ice right through the slot. Intended for Seamus Malone, went off the skate. Nice tape-to-tape pass to Rem Pitlick. Good step up by Inamoto to poke the puck free. Tyler Inamoto, the sophomore from Chicago, 5th-round draft pick of the Florida Panthers 2 years ago. Here's Zimmer now, tries to get a shot off. Good defense that time by Ben Brinkman. And it's up to center ice, and here comes Gates. Cross ice, McManus looking. Pitlick over skates, collected by Wisconsin's Johnson. Headman's Korniak. Johnson hard to the net. Korniak will shoot one, and he shot it high and wide glove side on Robson. Korniak, 31 goals, 61 points at West Salem Bangor high school hockey in Wisconsin. He was a USA Hockey or USA Today high school All-American, was Jack Korniak, saying something for a kid from Wisconsin. Badgers just blocked a shot there a moment ago. 25 block shots for the Badgers last Saturday in that 3-2 overtime loss to North Dakota. Kalnick tried to weave through a couple of Gophers, fell down, turned over the puck. Sadek up now to Josh Norman. He's got it again. Off balance, Keandre Miller. Loose puck to the right of Wisconsin's Lebedev, and a shot on, and that goes popping in the air, and eventually Baker pulls it back and finds Kalnick, and here comes Korniak now. Missed on a lead feed for Sean Doogie, and then a wild pass by Sadek. He just iced it. So icing on Minnesota, 8 minutes left in the first. A Brock Caulfield goal at 9:37 has Wisconsin on top.
And a special guest here. So we talked about this Minnesota-Wisconsin rivalry. This guy, a big part of it, although he's known more for the Wisconsin-North Dakota moment. We got John Newberry with us.
Yeah, you see Minnesota's schedule that Bill referenced a moment ago, opening the season with a home-and-home against Duluth, and then an exhibition against the under-18 team, then another exhibition. Long-range shot by S, skipped wide, trying to hit Freitag on the back door. Tischke hoping to hold the zone, but got pressure that time by Norman. Long shift for the Gophers here. Badgers, Freitag mishandles the puck as he's pressured by Nanny. Up to center ice, directed in by Ramsey. John Newberry played 2 years at Wisconsin, 1980 through 1982, and very gifted player for the Wisconsin Badgers, and we'll talk with him here in just a little bit. The Badgers have a 1-0 lead on Minnesota. Good setup, Roman Ashawn. Backdoor Brock Caulfield. He made no mistake about it. Back at the Kohl Center, 1-0 Wisconsin, and we're joined by Badgers All-American and the first Wisconsin Badger who actually was a top 10 finalist for the Hobie Baker Award back in 1982. John Newberry from Victoria, British Columbia. Glad to have you in town.
Well, it's great to be in town. It's almost like I said at the luncheon, basically I talked to my good friend Tony Heinrichs, whose family looked after me when I was here. And you know, the winters sometimes you get used to, but in the long run, I love Madison, love the college sport, and there's a reason why so many people come here, right? I mean, there's some great places around the world, but it's the people that make it.
Definitely so, including Tony Granato, who you've become good friends with too, and he's about as class of an act you can find.
Well, you know, when I heard with Tony, we're, you know, going back and forth, and he says, well, I said, is there anything I can bring back for you? He says, he started naming off some guys like teammates, and I said, well, listen, I said, how about Mark Johnson, Tony Granato, Ron Vincent on the wing, and we'll get Schultze and Chelios. I said, that's a winning.
You got it right there.
It doesn't get any better than that.
John Newberry scored 30 goals as a freshman in 1981. Wow. Scored 28 in 1982 when he was a finalist for the Hobie. They won in 81. You played the Gophers in the final. Bob Johnson against Brad Pietro. What do you remember about that championship game at the Deck in Duluth?
Well, the thing is, well, as we all know, backdoor Badgers, right?
That was the backdoor Badgers.
So
Neil Broughton's in the game for the Gophers. Tibby Har, Aaron Broughton, they had a good team.
All year, like, they beat us. I mean, hands down.
3-on-1, McLaughlin with a chance. A little head and shoulder fake, and Lebedev holds his ground and makes the stop, and then some pushing afterwards. McLaughlin found himself with a 3-on-1, could have dished it, but elected to shoot instead. And Lebedev didn't take the baits, and he made the stop.
Well,
McLaughlin's an Anaheim draft, a highly touted freshman from Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and there's a good chance. Big save by Lebedev. Mills, you want to go down memory lane? You're back at the arena.
Back, you know, the first two-game total goal series, we played Colorado College, and let's face it,
they came from way down to beat you by a touchdown.
When it was funny during the, well, it wasn't funny, but during the game, we were looking at each other going, geez, when it rains, it pours. And, you know, we were lucky enough to get back in, and you know what? It was fitting to end up playing the Gophers. And, you know, with all the ex-Olympians that they had on the team, it was incredible. I mean, it was, but, you know, to be honest, we had Bob Johnson as a coach, and I believe he just totally outcoached them.
I believe a lot of people have made that observation over time.
Yeah, I think so too.
Next year,
icing on Minnesota, by the way.
Next year's 82. I still think that might have been the second best team to the. Well, you can argue the 2006 team and the 98 or 1978 team. You didn't win. You lost to North Dakota, but everybody remembers that year because of the water bottle. You had 28 goals that year.
Yeah. So this is a question I've always wanted to ask you.
Shoot.
Why did you squirt Kerry Eads?
Well, what happened is I just came off a shift. And Kerry Eads was basically beacon off at Bruce Driver.
Okay.
And Bruce Driver's, you know, just...
Hit like shoots one. Ooh, off the stick of Lebedev.
Yeah. He's not going to fight him. And Kerry coming from Vancouver, you know, it's that's the style he plays. So I just give him a warning shot. He turned around and says, you want to do it? You want to try that again? And I said, hey, listen, if you want to fight somebody, fight me. And he came closer, and I just straight streamed him. Well, Pat Ether sees this.
Oh, yeah.
He comes from one end of the bench, boom, the rest. I mean, back in the Coliseum. Beard garden, cops, you name. Oh, my gosh.
Hang on here, John. Hang on. Badgers have a penalty. Nick Mesner's going to get the gate. Gophers going on a power play when we come back. It's Wisconsin leading Minnesota by the score of 1-0. Brock Caulfield lit the lamp at 9:37, but the Gophers are going to get a chance on the man advantage. Stay tuned. Race to the puck, Nick Mesner, along with Clayton Phillips, and Mesner got his stick in there and got a hooking penalty. So Minnesota on the power play at 18% this season, 4 for 22 so far through 5 games.
An opportunity to tie the game in the first power play of the night.
Here's Phillips running the point, Novak right wing. In front of the net is Gates. Tries to redirect one on. Oh, Lebedev with a great pad save. And then on the rebound, Tyler Sheehy with a chance. And I think Lebedev got his blocker on it. And the Badgers set it down. I mentioned Lebedev with 17 saves on 9 power plays last weekend against North Dakota. He was Wisconsin's best penalty killer.
And he got a lot of practice.
He sure did. Open Novak. He'll take a look. Here's Phillips now. Rem Pitlick. Goal line is Sheehy looking for the puck. He's got it. Little pitch and catch. Pass collected by Phillips. Novak open. One-timer, and he had Lebedev going one way, shot back the other, but missed the target. Badgers would change a couple of their penalty killers. Actually, one comes out. Jason Doogie's out there now with Brock Caulfield. Pitlick, that is, across the line. Off the glass, over to the near side of Novak. Gates, Sheehy. Moving the puck well. Bob Motzko's power plays at St. Cloud were so dangerous with the rows and lashes and nodals, among others. Minnesota still working through things here in a turnover, and now Wisconsin's Jason Doogie will send it all the way down. So, John, you were talking about the water bottle game, and, you know, Jim Archibald comes running out, knocks a policeman down, or actually wrestles himself away from a cop, and then he starts the fight all over again. You know, one of the funniest things, though, was that John Newberry, who started that brawl with a water bottle, became a firefighter.
Allegedly started.
Allegedly, sure. We've got it on video, John. Well, not you squirting it, but you became a firefighter. And Archibald got into the law enforcement business.
Oh, my God. You know what?
Big save again by Lebedev.
Go figure, right?
Right?
And I was listening to...
Badgers have killed off the penalty. Mick Mesner's going to come out of the box. Nice job by the penalty kill. Go ahead.
I was listening to Coach Granato and how the North Dakota fans were so rough. And I almost felt like, you know what? Next time, bring me in. That's it. Teamwork here, you know?
Well,
Once a Badger, always a Badger. Here we go.
They show that video in Grand Forks Point. They show reruns of Friends. I mean, it's on about every bar in town when the Badgers come to town.
They put it on the video board prior to the series starting. So fans get all fired up.
You are legendary at Grand Forks. This guy's a pretty good hockey player. Third-round draft choice of Montreal when Montreal was really good. And you really never got a chance in an organization that was backloaded with players. You played a long time in Europe. And you are, to me, you are the best player that's ever played here that didn't have stardom in the NHL.
Well, you know, hey, listen. Hey, you just hit the my Christmas
Thanks,
Christmas, man.
I'll leave you my address.
And also, thanks for writing all, like, nice things about me. And when things weren't going so well, like I told you today, thanks for just leaving me right out of it.
Well, Noobs is never known for his back checking, but boy, he could score.
He sure could.
Yeah.
He sure could.
Well, you know what? I think Bob Johnson, the way, I mean, what made Bob so great?
And another penalty coming up here, this time on Minnesota. Wisconsin's Inamoto up to center, hustling after it. Mesner works the puck free. Doogie, Freitag across the line. Little escape move by Matthew Freitag. Drop pass off Kalnick. He'll try to do the same to McLaughlin. Tied up on the near side. Now Minnesota possesses, and a power play coming up for the Badgers. They lead 1-0 late here in the first.
Well, last year, or the year before I came to Wisconsin, the last two home games was against North Dakota.
Yep.
And they lost the bowl, didn't make the playoffs. So then next year, has zero expectations, just want to come in, make the team, just, you know, do you can. And that year, I don't know if we had 8, 9 freshmen come in, and how often does that happen? But if you look at the freshmen that came in and what Bob did for all the guys and to get everybody on the same page, unbelievable.
Tripping penalty on McLaughlin at 18:46. Badgers on the power play 23% this season, 8 of 35, although 0 for 6 last weekend at North Dakota. Minnesota on the penalty kill at about 83%. Most penalized team in the country, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, averaging 20.8 penalty minutes per game.
And Coach Motzko not happy about that.
No, not at all. But Minnesota's done the job so far to waste almost 30 seconds on Wisconsin's initial power play of the night.
Noops, thanks for joining us. It's really nice to see you in town.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me here. And like I say, I'm in town more often than not. And well, listen, I see the view here. Like, it doesn't get any better. So
good.
I don't know what I'm going to need. But if you know what, if I get some tips, love to sit up up here more with you guys in the future.
Anytime Kalnick shot, that's blocked by Sinek. Ricochets to the far side. Novak now. Zulsdorf. Clock winding down. Badgers pull it free, but Keandre Miller can't hold it on the far side wall. He'll hustle back. Maybe one last chance here for the Badgers. 10 seconds left in the period. This power play will carry over to the second period. We're going to hear from Minnesota coach Bob Motzko coming up in our first intermission. Good hustle by Miller. Bouncing puck. Doogie takes a swing or two. Couldn't connect, and the horn sounds. Ending play. John, thanks so much for coming up.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me.
Yep. 1982 All-American, former Badger John Newberry joining us here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Lone goal in the first period scored by the Badgers' Brock Caulfield at 9:37 from Roman Ashawn and Dominic Mersch. Gophers did not connect on their first power play, their only power play of the period. Badgers still have some time on their first power play heading into period number 2. Daniel Lebedev was pretty solid in the opening period, I would say, and Matt Robson had no chance on Caulfield's goal for sure.
Yeah, they take advantage of a turnover, and Caulfield converts for his second goal of the year. Gophers with the 10-9 edge in shots in the first period. Pretty good up and down period. And
little tequila at the Kohl Center. Mom's going to have to explain that to the kids at some point. Wisconsin with a 1-0 lead on Minnesota in the first intermission, and Bill, a little sloppy at times. Both teams wanted to get up and go in transition, and Wisconsin had a couple of pretty good chances. Eventually they score, but Minnesota had some good looks too.
Yeah, and got a break there with one going off the post, but Lebedev for the most part was pretty good. So Kalnick with his shot there. And here's a good save by Lebedev on a point-blank drive by McLaughlin, and then he covers up on the rebound. But Lebedev, who was so good last Saturday in Grand Forks, continues his play here. Here's the lone goal. A turnover at center ice. And Mersch, Ashawn, and Caulfield, that energy line combined to get the lone goal of the period. Nice dish to Caulfield. Brother had a hat trick today for Team USA in the U.S. Under-18 tournament.
Yep, Cole Caulfield, who will sign with the Wisconsin Badgers at some point this month and be in Cardinal and White next year.
Big day for the Caulfields. There you see the stats from the first period. The Gophers with an edge in shots. Badgers will be on the power play when we come back for the second period.
It's always a great day for hockey, whether it be in Madison, in Minnesota, or up in Canada watching on TSN tonight. Badgers and the Golden Gophers opening the Big Ten season here this evening. Game 2 tomorrow night. We'll have that one as well. Stay tuned. Second period's coming up here in just a bit on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Ryan Posick, Bill Brophy here at the Kohl Center. Wisconsin with a 1-0 lead. Second period will start in just a minute. All right, Bill, you've been around rinks all your life. Your favorite rink food is what?
I love the hot dogs at the old Duluth Arena.
Really?
Really?
Okay, what do you put on your hot dogs?
It was free, let me point out back in the day.
That's why you liked it.
Yeah.
That's why. What do you put on hot dogs?
Well, I'm just a mustard guy.
You're a mustard guy?
Yeah.
I loaded up with everything.
Well, I hear they got a Tim Hortons in Grand Forks the last time I was up there, so that would be high on my list.
Oh, yeah. I was fine with Tim Hortons right across the street from the
your
hotel.
favorite? You're a grizzled veteran now.
It's usually a rink dog with sauerkraut, onions, relish, mustard, and ketchup, so I can't taste the hot dog.
I should point out, and we've got a second here, but a couple of hockey legends in Minnesota have passed away this week. Bob Nagley, who's the founder of the Minnesota Wild, succumbed to cancer at 78 years old. One of the real good guys, a big supporter of college hockey, both the Big Ten Conference and the WCHA. Bob, a very nice gentleman. And Huffer Christensen, the first part ever, his number retired in Duluth. Huffer also succumbed to cancer. He's a member of the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame. He gave credibility to UMD when they first joined the WCHA in the late 60s. Huffer, a real ambassador for the Bulldog program. He'll be buried, or celebration of his life will be tomorrow at the building next to Amsoil Arena, where his jersey now hangs. With Bob Nagley and Huffer Christensen, a couple of the real good guys who gave so much to this game.
Badgers on a power play to start this second period. Keandre Miller's out with Wyatt Kalnick, Seamus Malone, Max Zimmer, and Will Johnson. Kalnick will glide his way up, drop back to Miller. Now to Malone. And flips off to Zimmer. Back to Kalnick, so the Badgers enter the zone nicely. Zimmer handles it now. Max with a couple of goals this season. Came in the same game a couple of weeks ago. Miller, they like to get him a right wing shot if at all possible. He can really fire the puck. Without Linus Weissbach, Weissbach was working the strong side, left wing, and without him, the power play has not been as it had been early in the season. And we can see that the Gophers have killed off Wisconsin's first power play of the night. Both teams 0 for 1 on the man advantage. Good step up that time. Tyler Nanny on counted. And now it's Phillips with it. Reverses course to Nanny. Shovels it along near side for Gates. And taken away by Tarek Baker.
I think Weissbach done well in this series. He can fly, and this is his kind of series to himself. He's just a good player and a guy that Wisconsin's counting on to score a lot of goals. So his early season loss is a big one for Tony Granato's team.
Yeah. Minnesota playing without Scott Reedy, who's out with a lower leg injury. Didn't play last weekend. Here's Doogie, but the Badgers are offside. Baker upset with himself a little bit that he fumbled the puck at the blue line. Face-off coming up out at neutral ice with about a minute and a half gone by here in the second period.
Yeah, you heard Bobby Motzko talk. And it's a little tough to get a handle on this team. I mean, it's a transition year anyway from Lucia to Motzko, and the schedule is just so funky. And as you said, they've played every game against nationally ranked teams. The Badgers right on the periphery of the top 20, but well, their early season start, a stutter step start with the games all over the country. It's tough to get any continuity going.
Yeah, not only have they scored only 11 goals, they've been outshot on average 31-22 this season. Right now, one shot on goal more than Wisconsin. The Badgers have a 1-0 lead. Mesner steal. Peter Tischke shoots one. Oh, I don't think that Robson saw it until it was past him. But he missed the nets. Peter Tischke's yet to light the lamp this season. The senior captain from Hillsdale, Illinois. It's Hinsdale, Illinois, Brian. One in, not 2 outs. Now the puck out at center. Here's Romenko. Ramsey. Norman's shot off the stick of Jason Doogie, who goes and picks up his lumber. And now Mesner's got it for the Badgers and lobs it up near the Gopher bench. Must have hit somebody in a stoppage of play. Darian Romenko, I mentioned him, the Shoreview, Minnesota senior, who has played, what now, 102 consecutive games for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Pretty impressive streak.
Good look at Andrew Miller, and there's his defense partner, Ty Emberson. Miller, the National Rookie of the Month, voted by the league commissioners. He is one impressive-looking rookie. You can see why the Rangers picked him #1.
Yep. Deshaun dumps in. Robson leaves it off. Spun around by Brinkman near side. Mishandled by Ranta. Badgers reload. Deshaun gives chase. Miller, good hustle to hold his own. First man to it near side. Will it be Mersch? Yeah, he leans his hip in, but a good play by the defenseman, Brinkman. And he dodged that check and got the puck moving. Pass to the slot and it's headed for Sadak, but the Gophers don't connect, and now the Badgers, Emberson has it. Ty Emberson, third-round draft pick of the Arizona Coyotes. Gets some help from Mersch. Miller outlets far side of Sean. Turns towards the defender to possess the puck, but Brinkman took it away and dumped it down in. Now Lebedev for Emberson. Almost gave it away behind the net. Miller protects and finds Emberson, and the Badgers will try to break out. Here's Sean Doogie. 5 goals first 4 games. No points last 4. Here's Baker now put it in on a backhand, and Robson kept his pad along the near post and made the stop. And it's 9 saves now for Matt Robson. 1-0 Wisconsin. About 3.5 minutes in to the second period, and the Gophers put it down on net on Daniel Lebedev, and he'll just cover it up to get a face-off.
Talked about Motzko's quote after the loss to Mankato about his team was too cute. He wants to get pucks in deep and establish more of a ground game.
Yep.
And him been able to do that in the early parts of the season or tonight, although they do have a slight edge in shots, as you can see.
He was just doing a little teaching with freshman Garrett Waits. Minnesota's got 7 freshmen on its roster. 5 sophomores, 5 juniors, 9 seniors. Long-range shot that Lebedev snags and hangs on to.
And a heavy Edina presence, as you mentioned earlier. All those teams, their guys played for Kurt Giles, the former UMD star who went on to play the North Stars. Kurt's done such a good job coaching Edina.
Off the draw, McLaughlin shot, and that's gloved by Lebedev again. Couple of glove saves for the young man that would call himself the Finnish Hammer if he was a professional wrestler, Daniel Lebedev.
You asked him that?
Well, it was featured in Breaking the Ice, something that UW Badgers, the athletic communications staff does, and that would have been his nickname. Maybe he'll be a professional wrestler someday. He's a funny young man. And the puck in front, look out. Good block shot by Wisconsin's Kalnick, got in the way of McLaughlin. Out to Phillips now. His shot blocked, right back to Phillips. Starts his way to the slot. Out to the point, and he tees one up. That's blocked by Wisconsin's Max Zimmer, who's out of the stick. And now Seamus Malone will track it down near the Badger bench. To the net goes Johnson. Zimmer now has his stick. He finds an open man. Kalnick sets and scores. Oh, Zimmer to Kalnick. Badgers rush into the offensive zone and double their lead. 2-0.
Kalnick's a big play guy. Minnesota won 3 successive faceoffs at the other end. Had some pretty good pressure, but the Badgers break out, and Zimmer with a good feed to Kalnick. And Wisconsin has a 2-0 lead.
Zimmer lost his stick. It was shattered. He went to the bench after Malone gathered the puck in. Seamus had it poked away, as you can see, found the trailer, and then the other trailer was Kalnick, and he buries it. Zimmer and Malone with the helpers at the 4-minute mark. 2-0 Badgers.
Yeah, Malone takes the puck away from Nanny and then was off to the races. 5th goal of the year for Kalnick. More than he had all of last season when he was named an All-Big Ten honorable mention.
Yep, and he made the All-Freshman squad too. Kalnick 3 goals, 25 points as a freshman a year ago. Only the 8th Badger freshman defenseman to score 25 points or more in a season. He's got 5 goals now. And it's 2-0 Badgers. Again, Zimmer and Malone will get the helpers, and now a shot off his stick and into the protected netting.
And the Badgers opportunistic. That's what they haven't been on Friday night. But tonight, they've taken advantage of what opportunities have been given. Kalnick again, an NHL draft choice for the Flyers, who like him a lot. And you can see why.
Badgers had layers in their attack there, and Kalnick just set himself and picked his spot and buried it. Last weekend against North Dakota, Wyatt didn't score a point, and he had over 40 friends and family members in Grand Forks for both games, because the trip down from his hometown of Virden, Manitoba is only 4.5 hours.
Only.
As opposed to making the 15 to 16 hour trek from Manitoba to Madison. And actually, his parents have been in the Midwest now for the last week or so. They left Grand Forks, went back home, and then drove down to Madison, saw their son, went to the Blackhawks game Thursday night. Now they're back to watch him play again tonight and tomorrow night. Crazy parents. Here's Pitlick behind the net. Oh, set up Gates, and he couldn't catch the pass. He was wide open, untouched. Ren Pitlick, I love his game. The Nashville Predators' 3rd-round draft choice in 2016. 31 points a year ago to lead the team. Gophers won only 19 games last season, 17 losses, 2 ties, missed the NCAA tournament on the final day of the conference tournaments, in which everything that needed to go wrong or shouldn't go wrong went wrong. And the Gophers found themselves out. Duluth was the last team in and eventually won the national championship.
Yeah, it really infinitesimal the chances Minnesota would not make the NCAA field last year, and that infinitesimal percentage point came up.
Hey, heck of a play by Mick Mesner. A little unorthodox, but he got the puck up ahead to his teammate Ashawn. He's closed off, and we've got a whistle and a penalty coming up here in a moment for interference on the Gophers, and the Badgers are going to get a power play. So 5:48 into the second period. The Badgers have a 2-0 lead thanks to Wyatt Kalnick's goal at the 4-minute mark. And now Wisconsin will have a man advantage when we come back. The former Rough Rider from Cedar Rapids, Roman Ashawn, drawing a penalty on Minnesota's Jack Sadek.
Sadek gives him a rough ride, and for that he's sitting in the box. Badgers with their 2nd power play, the chance try to improve on a 2-goal lead early in the 2nd.
Minnesota does have a shorthanded goal this season, killed off 11 of 12 power plays against and getting swept by Minnesota State last weekend. Malone working the half-board left. Now Kalnick pressured by Tyler Sheehy, one of the co-captains with Brent Gates. Back to Kalnick. Open Miller, and he sets it and hit his teammate Will Johnson in front of the net. The dirty area is right in front of the net. Will Johnson, maybe the best Badger at blocking the eyes of the goaltender. Now Miller shanks a shot to the corner, and Johnson hustles after it. Will Johnson had one of the 2 goals the Badgers scored last Saturday in that 3-2 overtime loss to North Dakota. Minnesota does the job and clears it down, so Wisconsin about 80 seconds left in the power play. Caulfield scored in the first period. Kalnick here in the second. 2-0 Badgers. DeAndre Miller. Sean Doogie. And offside. Yeah.
Badgers haven't done much with the man advantage in their first 2 opportunities tonight. They didn't have a shot in the first 5-on-4, and they're out of sync here. Of course, 53 seconds. Tony Granado sends out the second unit.
Tony and his coaching staff, associate head coaches Marco Siki and Mark Strobel. Shane Conley, the former goaltender, director of hockey operations. Good to see John Hamry, the director of hockey ops now for Minnesota. He's been there a couple of years. Worked for a year under Mike Eaves a few years ago. Snapshot by Ramsey, shorthanded, and Lebedev fought that off. Doug Ramsey, the senior from Minnetonka High School. His dad part of the Miracle on Ice. Ramsey's played in a boatload of games, too. This is 111 in his career. Only 5 goals, though, in his career. Kalnick will try again. Brought back to Baker. Up ahead, Freitag can't reach the pass. Slides to the corner. Zulsdorf played it around. Turnover in front. Baker had a chance. He took a swing, and the puck popped right towards Robson, and he puts his mitt down and covers it up.
Mark Baker with a bad angle shot gave Robson trouble. 30 seconds left on the second power play.
Robson came in with the semester break a year ago, went 7-5-1, 211 goals against, 933 save percentage, and a couple of shutouts.
You see Rossini tossed the puck up behind the net, and Baker in with a bad angle shot, and Robson with a big save. Bail out his teammate.
Well, Motzko's got bit of a quandary as far as his goaltenders are concerned, because Eric Schierhorn made his 100th career start last Saturday and played well in that 2-1 loss to Minnesota. I mean, he's got 55 career wins and 113 appearances. He's a good one.
Talking to our friend Frank Mazzacco, does radio for the Gophers a long time. He said he can't believe there's a better goaltending tandem in the country, and I was hard pressed to disagree with him.
Yeah.
But Schierhorn's a 2-time Big Ten goalie of the year, and Robson has come on and taken the job from him for the most part. Gophers
do a nice job on the penalty kills, so the Badgers 0 for 2, 2-0 Wisconsin. 8 minutes into the second period, a swing and a miss by Brock Caulfield. An outlet pass. Here's Pitlick, and Tischke cut him off. Pitlick lost the puck, got it back, and flung it down to the corner. Peter Tischke, who's been hobbled a bit by a lower body injury, looks a little bit more healthy here tonight. Spins a pass to the far side and picked up there by Sheehy. Fires a shot that may have gone off the side of the net. Tischke ties up the forechecker Sampo Ranta. Sheehy tries again, but Tischke comes out of there with it. He'll just lob it out to center, and not strongly enough to ice it. The Badgers will get a change. Gophers so far with 14 shots on goal. Nothing to show for it. Here's Brinkman across the line. Reaching Miller. Brinkman had it, lost it, got it back. Sweeps it to the corner, eludes the stick of Ranta. Gathered in by Wisconsin's Emerson. Mersch then couldn't handle it, and Walker goes to get it. Sammy Walker with Emerson on him. Sadek out to the point. Here's Brinkman. His wrister. Got through, but not on, and a backhander off the end boards by Ranta. I think that hit the side of the net as well.
Sort of finally establishing the forecheck. Good shift here.
Yep, for sure. And now a shot in towards Lebedev. Look out, a delayed penalty. A long-range shot goes in. The referee had his arm up for a penalty as Lebedev fell back into the net. Will it be on Minnesota or on Wisconsin? We'll see.
I think Brinkman got the goal. They single goal. Then Brinkman, the young defenseman from Edina, they played on, and he wristed it in from the post with Lebedev down and out. And I believe C.J. Berline down low signals goal. There's a shot by Berline. You can see the collision in the net. Oh, you get a good look at Lebedev getting hammered here.
Sheehy got knocked into the goaltender, around behind the goaltender. Lebedev fell down, leaving the top of the cage wide open, and Brinkman went top shelf for that goal. And the referees are going to take a look here at video replay, I would assume. Sheehy and Seamus Malone over to talk with the refs right now.
Well, you learn. Play until the whistle.
Right.
Emerson checked Sheehy into the goaltender. There was no whistle. The puck came back to Brinkman. And the young freshman from Edina, who actually accelerated from high school to play here as a young freshman, gets his first career goal. So here's the collision.
Yeah, Emerson leads Sheehy into Lebedev. Daniel went down, and the puck went right over the top of him. Yeah, Lebedev actually had his left leg bent backwards there a little bit. Wisconsin without Jack Berry, who started the season opener and has played 5 games this season. Berry has had some lower body issues of his own coming off back surgery a year ago. They're going to count the goal. Brinkman gets the goal, plus the Gophers will go on a power play because Emerson's going to get 2 minutes for interference or roughing, one or the other.
So the goal is Brinkman, his first of his career from Ranta and Sadek at 9:20. Tony Granato getting an explanation. And he's probably not going to like it because his team's lead has been cut in half, and now they're going to have to kill off Minnesota's second power play of the night.
Time of the goal, time of the penalty, the same. Emerson gets the gates. I mentioned Ben Brinkman, who has worked his way into this lineup, and All-State player at Edina last year. 2-time captain of his high school club.
Hughes did in Michigan last year. He accelerated and chose, instead of going to his senior year in high school, to play for the Gophers. Fans booing vociferously here at the Kohl Center.
Unless they're wearing maroon and gold like the young man sitting or standing or pounding the glass behind the Badger and Gophers benches. So we'll find out exactly what the penalty was on Emerson. It was interference. Yep, interference on Emerson, which makes sense at 9:20. Kalnick after the puck. Inamoto there too. Baker as well, but he flipped it to Sheehy in front. Oh, Pitlick scores. Badgers coughed it up. Sheehy found Pitlick wide open. Power play goal, and the Gophers have pulled even.
How things change in a hurry. Gophers get 2 goals in 21 seconds. Pitlick on the power play goal after the turnover. And my goodness, things have turned in a hurry here at the Kohl Center.
Ren Pitlick buries his 3rd goal of the year. Give Tyler Sheehy, the helper, his 2nd of the season. 111 points in his career now for Sheehy. It's 2-2.
Sheehy does a good job in the forecheck. Yeah. He gets, I think he gets the lone assist. It got reversed, we've been told. But.
Yeah, Pitlick from Sheehy, but the Badgers had possession of the puck below the goal line and just gave it away.
Yeah.
So I think that should be it, the lone assist to Sheehy. So the Badgers, who look comfortable with a 2-0 lead, maybe too much so. The Gophers have rallied back and have 2 goals tonight in 30 minutes after scoring only 3 goals in the previous 3 games combined. Here's Wisconsin in the outlet, and Johnson. Nice poke check that time by Novak, chased down by Malone. Seamus, a dangerous pass through the low slot. It eludes S. Norman's got it for the Gophers. McLaughlin now behind the nets. Pressured a bit by Tishke, setting up his teammate Norman. He scores. It snuck in past Lebedev. 3 unanswered goals by Minnesota in less than 2 minutes. It's 3-2 Gophers.
Well, that one wasn't a good goal. 3 goals in a span of minute 14 to be exact, and good job again by the Gophers on the forecheck. Centering pass comes to Norman, who beats the freshman on the short side. That's Norman, checked off the puck, but in behind, McLaughlin dangles. Norman's free alongside the net and shoots off the pass, and boom, all of a sudden Minnesota's got a lead.
McLaughlin, the lone assist at 10:34. As Ryan Norman scored the goal, his first of the year, 11th of his career out of Shattuck St. Mary's, Maplewood, Minnesota. I think I referred to him as Josh before. My apologies, Ryan Norman. Now Freitag lost it. Mesner's tried to snap one off. That was blocked. And the Badgers have to regain their poise a little bit here. A little chip shot by Mesner, missed the nets. 3 goals in a minute 14 for the Golden Gophers, who have broken out of their offensive funk in a very short period of time. Emerson, Miller. With Freitag, Doogie, and Baker on the ice. Miller looking. Oh, cross ice intended for Baker. Good stick. Phillips off the bench, and Emoto's shot. That's blocked away by the goaltender Robson. Mako now goes to get it. Has cross ice off the stick and run down by Phillips now. He takes a pretty good hit from Baker as he dumped it down in. Miller reaches for it. Sheehy's got it behind the net. It's Ranta. Slowed by Baker. Spins him around. Those two battle at it for a little while, and then Ranta with a two-hand slash to the back of Tarek Baker's legs, something Rob Andringa would oftentimes do. Hope Robbie's watching here tonight. Badger steal. Here's Miller. Nice tape-to-tape pass to Wisconsin's Baker, then to Sean Doogie, and lob down deep. Badgers had a 2-0 lead on Wyatt Kalnick's goal 4 minutes into the period, and then Brinkman at 9:20, Pitlick on a power play at 9:41, Norman even strength at 10:34. Topol Sheehy shoots one, saved by Lebedev. He dropped the rebound, but gathered in by Kalnick. Tried to outlet, went off the skate of Mersch, who popped Sheedy near the Gophers bench, and whistling offside was called. So a wild second period here, more so over the last 2 minutes or so, as the Gophers run off 3 unanswered goals, erase a 2-0 deficit. Minnesota leads Wisconsin 3-2 halfway here in Madison.
To the Kohl Center. Now, for the last 50 years, Michael Leckrone here has led the Wisconsin Badger Band, and you've been here since the Badgers were playing at the Coliseum. How have you seen things change since then?
Well, it's still the same rivalry between Minnesota and Wisconsin. That hasn't changed a bit. But, you know, it's a different environment. The students come in a different way. They used to come in like hours before the game started. So it's just a whole different feeling at the game. But it's still that rivalry that you just can't get away from.
Absolutely. Now, when you wrap up your career at the end of the spring here, what do you think you're going to miss the most?
The students. I think the students, because they're what makes it fun. That's what's really kept me going for all these years, is because I never know what to expect, and that sort of keeps you going every time.
Absolutely. Now, I got to ask you, I got to give you the runaround like all the other players. How do you guys think that you did so far in the game, and what are you hoping to improve upon the rest of the game here? Well,
we want to fill more goals. That's the easy part. You just got to get more goals. I think we kind of had a little letdown there when they had some penalties and so forth, and so I think it looks like they're back on track a little bit. So if we play our game, we'll be all right.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
Thanks, Piper. Yeah, Michael worried more about hockey than his band. I think he thinks his band is perfect. Oh, a shot by Pitlick, denied by Lebedev, and gathered in now by Wisconsin's Mesner. Fought away McManus. Pitlick on his backhand, forehand, poke check Lebedev, and the Badgers have the puck 3-on-3 the other way. Oh, now it's 3-on-2 as Doogie gains the line. Open, Freitag missed the net. Jason Doogie with it again, tried to cycle down low. The defenseman Phillips got in the way, and now Minnesota exits the zone. 3-2 Gophers. Yeah, Michael Leckrone, 50 years as the UW band director, grew up in Indiana. His father was a director as well, longtime music fan, and he was inducted into the UW Athletics Hall of Fame 2 years ago. Here's Gorniak now. Late penalty coming up. Wrister by Gorniak. Robson save, and Wisconsin will get a power play. Penalty called on the Golden Gophers.
Gorniak comes over the line and forces the penalty. And the Badgers needed an opportunity. They've been back in their heels after the Gophers get 3 in 74 seconds. There's the hook. And here comes the power play. One more note on Leckrone. Mike was nice enough to be the featured speaker at the Coach Sauer Foundation. In the introduction Paul Brown gave him, pointed out in 100 years at Camp Randall, there's been 2 consistent items: Bucky Badger and Mike Leckrone. 50 years, the only 2 things that have been there from 50 to 100 years.
Amazing.
But he's really had an impact on the community, this institution, and his hockey program. I think you make the case he helped with Bob Johnson get things going back at Hartmeyer and then the Coliseum.
Johnson pass to Miller, right wing. Badgers on their 3rd power play, 0 for 2 so far, and not much offensive punch generated during those first 2-man advantages. McLaughlin, his 2nd penalty of the night, this one for hooking at 13:59. Malone, backhand pass, not strongly enough, but Kalnick goes to get it. They play pitch and catch along the far side wall. Miller now in front of the net. Johnson, and a shot hit. Johnson again, 2nd time that Miller's hit his teammate. He's trying to take the eyes of the goaltender. Puck comes free. Zimmer with it. Oh, good stick lift that time by Sadak. Rimmed around to the near side. Miller holds it in. 15 to go on the power play. 3-2 Gophers. Johnson sets up Zimmer, and he can't get the shot on. And it slides all the way back Wisconsin's way. Kalnick remains. Doogie out now with Baker, Freitag, and on the far side it's Gorniak. Gorniak ran into some interference, and the puck pops free, and now a foot race, and we'll see if Jack Ramsey gets there first. He does. Toe pull, lost it, still loose, and finally picked up by Jack Gorniak. Give the Gophers credit here on their penalty kill. They've been pretty good so far. They came in at 83%.
And they have certainly kept the Badgers off to the periphery and not getting many good shots on a power play.
Freitag's pass eventually works through. Gorniak taps off for Kalnick. Back to Freitag. Trying to feed Gorniak. Loose puck. Poked free by Nanny. And here he comes with Romenko. Here's Nanny across the line. And then he lost the puck. Kalnick thought about backing in with a hip check. But Nanny peeled away. And now Doogie's got it for the Badgers. 8 seconds left in the power play. Sean Doogie stops. And good poke check by Phillips that time. Gorniak lets it go, gains to it. That'll do it for the Badgers. Power play unsuccessful on 3 chances so far. Long lead feed McLaughlin, no icing. Good poke check that time by McLaughlin. Blake McLaughlin wins it free. Gates sets it, fires, and that one went wide glove side on Lebedev, who struggled back onto his skates. Now the Badgers in transition. Brock Caulfield scored the first goal tonight. Pass in front, Mersch. Now looking for a shot up off the stick of the goaltender Robson. The Badgers, Josh S. can't hold, and so now he coughs it up. Look out, Tischke back to play it. Up ahead, near side, it's Wisconsin's Mersch, and the Badgers again come to our right. A Sean drop past Mersch, back around the corner behind the net, Caulfield. Brock Caulfield, pass deflected. A Sean shot that went off the side of the cage. Battling for it, Dominic Mersch. Now a Sean to Emberson out to the left point. Shot blocks. Gophers have blocked quite a few tonight. Now picked up by Mersch in tight left. And easy save for Robson. He hangs on for a faceoff.
Like well, that all freshman line.
Yeah.
They once again generate some pressure.
Yep. The Badgers find themselves in a 3-2 hole. Thanks a lot, Mr. Michael Leckrone, for his 50 years of service to the UW Athletics Department. Looks a little younger there. And his spring concert's coming up in April as well. Under that exterior is a man with a cape, Mark Strobel.
That guy got cranked up when he played for the Badgers against Minnesota. I'll tell you. I said it's become a lot more civil. It wasn't when the Strobel twins were playing against their hometown team.
No, Miller's long-range shot got through. Robson fumbled the rebound. And the Badgers try to pull even here late in the second period after blowing a 2-0 lead. Sheehy, lead feed, run down on the near side by Walker. He'll tap it along, too far for Ranta. Far side, Sadek. He ran into some trouble, and the Badgers now have it. Miller, Doogie, worked the puck over the stick of Sheehy. Trailing now, Jared Zerbel centering pass to Doogie. Chipped at it, but Sheehy got in the way. Jared Zerbel, the senior from Green Bay, seeing his first shift of the night. Ty Emerson to Miller. And Mark and Mike Strobel. Brothers, 18 different pairs of brothers have played for the Wisconsin Badgers. At some point, either together or separately. Now here's Zimmer back behind the nets. Looking for someone, and out to the point in Inamoto. Off the inboards to the stick of Malone. Cycles back. Johnson can't beat Sadek to the puck. Trying to hold his own. Nicely done, Kalnick. And then Zimmer goes down. And Tyler Sheehy collects. Banks ahead and tapped up into the offensive zone by Garrett Waits. Sean and Jason Doogie, brothers, and Dominic Mersch, freshman for the Badgers. His older brother, Michael, you'll all recall, was an All-American here at Wisconsin as a senior in 2014. Had over 60 goals and 120 points. Now Minnesota's iced the puck.
At the next intermission, we're going to talk more about this. But great honor yesterday when the university announced that Mark Johnson's going to have his number retired here. I guess Tony Granado made a little news at the Blue Line Luncheon Day saying nobody is ever going to wear number 10 again after February 9th when they hang number 10 the Raptors. Ty Emerson's wearing it right now, but he's given his number up.
Yep.
He's going to be, what, 26?
Number 26.
And nobody is ever going to wear 10 again.
Yeah, we're going to hear from Mark Johnson during the second intermission as well. Tony Granado led the charge. Big hit by Tyler Inamoto on the near side against Waits. And that got the crowd juiced up a little bit. McLaughlin backhand pass blocked by Sean Doogie. McLaughlin longer wins the puck free. Novak out high. Nanny shot save made. Rebound there. McLaughlin's got a chance. Got cross-checked down by Wyatt Kalnick. Now Inamoto pairs off with the Golden Gophers, Garrett Waits. And they need to be separated. And Tarek Baker and Blake McLaughlin.
Well, here we go. There's a little spice in the rivalry after all. That's Doogie and Waits.
Wade, a former Waterloo Blackhawk, a Edina, Minnesota native as well. Inamoto is going to get the gate for Wisconsin. Wade will take a seat for Minnesota. Now back to the subject of Mark Johnson, Wisconsin's all-time leading goal scorer, 125 and 125 career games, 3 years, 256 points, second all-time point getter in Wisconsin history behind Mike Eames. He'll be the first Badger hockey player to have his number retired. And there's only one Minnesota Golden Gopher who's had his number retired, and that's number 8, John Mayasich.
Well, Tony made the comment yesterday. I mean, he was thrilled for Mark, and he said today, he's not the greatest moment in the program since he's been here. Here you can see the scrum after the play, good save by Lebedev, and then a lot of defensemen protecting their goaltender. But Mark, or yesterday, Tony said he thought Mark was the greatest player to ever play college hockey. Gopher fans might nominate Mayasich, but hey, he was even older. He was before my time, Brian.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I've heard about the legend of John Mayasich, and I said to Tony, he got me thinking, and I can't argue with him that Mark may be the best ever. I threw Paul Correa's name out there, but Correa only played 1 year, and he was awfully good for Maine the 1 year. And Neil Broughton's the other name. And I said to Tony, we continue that discussion tomorrow, but he gave me Broughton as somebody who might have had as good a college career, but I think he's staying with Mark, and he's certainly the best player I've ever seen here. And as you say, 125 goals in 125 games is just amazing.
Yeah, he averaged 2 points per game. The all-time leading goal scorer in college hockey history is Chuck Delich, who had 156 and 109 games for Air Force in the mid-70s. Mayasich had 144, and they are going to take a look and see if Inamoto should get a major penalty for his collision on the near side, I think. There's the replay of Kalnick's cross-check, and then Inamoto went up high. You can see Wade popped him in the face. But what precipitated that, though, was a hit on the near side wall by Inamoto that appeared to be contact to the head. And from our vantage point, where I am, I'm somewhat blocked by the boards and the glass and the fans, but we'll see how far back the referees are intending to look at this.
You mentioned this last time we were on. This is a new rule change where officials have the option to go check the video to see if a major ought to be assessed after penalties have been determined. Here it is again. There's the hit on Wade, and he did come up pretty high. It'd be interesting to see if Inamoto will assessed a major here. And both coaches came into this game talking about they wanted to see more discipline out of their teams, and that penalties have been unacceptable. I think it's going to be a 2-minute penalty, though. I don't believe they're going to tack on a major to Inamoto.
No, so both will get 2 minutes, Inamoto and Wade. It's 9 penalties now on the evening. I mentioned Minnesota, the most penalized team as far as minutes in college hockey. Wisconsin's number 12 at almost 16 minutes per game. Up at Grand Forks last weekend, we saw the NCHC referees go to video replay on a number of occasions, including in the first period on Saturday. Wyatt Kalnick, he looked at that to determine whether or not it should be a 5-minute major for elbowing, and it took him 6-7 minutes. The game lasted almost 2 hours and 40 minutes up in Grand Forks.
Yeah, well, we saw here a couple weeks ago, Tark Baker was assessed a major after, and that turned out to be the play of the game in a 6-2 loss to Tech. Badgers never recovered from Baker's disqualification that night and gave up 5 power play goals. Anyway, here we go for the Gopher power play, 4-on-4.
Yeah, roughing after the whistle on both Inamoto and Waits, Pitlick and Gates. Badgers forwards, Baker and Caulfield, Tischke and S defensively, Zulsdorf and Phillips on the blue line for Minnesota. Sauce pass to Wisconsin's S, couldn't finish the play. And Zulsdorf now has it for Minnesota. Little flip pass by Pitlick, intercepted out of midair by Sean Doogie, and taps back to Josh S. Winding down here in the second period. Again, we'll hear from Mark Johnson, all-time leading goal scorer in Wisconsin hockey history, and a man that helped make a miracle in Lake Placid back in 1980.
He was humble as can be when he got the news about being the first player to have his number retired.
Yeah, and actually he called his son Patrick and told him that his number was being retired. Patty wore number 10 here for the Wisconsin Badgers. Well, Wisconsin made it 2-0 4 minutes into the second period. Wyatt Kalnick from Max Zimmer and Seamus Malone. But then in a span of 1 minute and 14 seconds, Ben Brinkman scored, Rem Pitlick scored, and Ryan Norman scored. And the Golden Gophers run off 3 straight and have a 3-2 lead after 2 periods of play. Badgers, again, have struggled on Friday nights. They're 1-3 on Friday with 3 straight losses in the opening game of a weekend. And downstairs we go to Piper Shaw. Piper? Badgers had a 1-0 lead after 1, then up 2-0 before the Gophers ran off 3 straight goals. And the big play was Ben Brinkman's goal on a delayed penalty. We're underway here in the third period as the Gophers will dump it down in 4-on-4 here for the next 50 seconds. Matching minors to Inamoto and Waite. Sean Doogie's got it for Wisconsin. Here's Josh S. S slides it to Doogie, who had it for a moment, but the pass was actually delayed and Baker went offside. So here's the play that really turned the tide, Bill.
Badgers up 2-0 at this point, in control of the game. Well, that's the Inamoto hit on Waite that caused us to go into 4-on-4. But the play that really turned things around, Ty Emerson and Sheehy collided, knocking over the goaltender Lebedev, and when play went on, Ben Brinkman scored his first collegiate goal. Emerson went to the box for the hit, and 21 seconds later, a 2-0 lead had dissolved. Pitlick scored on a power play, and it was 2-2. Shortly thereafter, Norman put Minnesota up, and that's why we stand 3-2 now with 19:23 left of regulation.
The Gophers have just iced the puck. Pitlick's power play goal assisted by Sheehy. Norman scored from McLaughlin at 10:34, and Sadek and Ranta assisted on Brinkman's goal that made it 2-1. And here's the play.
Here's the collision. Emerson checks Sheehy into the goaltender. No whistle. Emerson with a delayed penalty called. Gophers played on. Brinkman gets his first collegiate goal. Then they scored the subsequent power play, and all of a sudden 2-0 became 2-2, and then Norman chimed in with another goal, and the Gophers have a 1-goal lead as we play in the third period.
Wide pass to Ranta, handcuffed him a bit. Ty Emerson's got it for Wisconsin. Now to Keandre Miller. Inamoto and Waite about to come out of the penalty boxes. So Miller walks around Ranta and shoots a wrister into the belly of the goaltender Robson. He hangs on, and both teams are at full strength, 104 into the third.
Miller's an exciting player. Badgers get a lot of production from their defense. They encourage Miller to rush the puck, and in his early college career, he's been very successful at it.
8 points so far for Keandre Miller.
After the goal by Kalnick tonight, Wisconsin received 7 goals from their Blue Liners in now 9 games.
Tarn Baker pushed it past Nanny, got slowed a bit. Will track it down, whipped it around the boards, but too strongly, and Inamoto has to retreat to play. Inamoto with Kalnick defensively. Baker out with Doogie, and Zimmer now. Puck off the glass, off the right hand of Zimmer. Dives to poke it free from Walker. Good play, but Walker with good hustle, and now the Gophers have it again. McManus lost the handle, and now Wisconsin's Wyatt Kalnick turns away from Walker. Pass by Inamoto in the skates of Baker. And back to play it now is Sammy Walker, 7th-round draft pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning a couple of years ago. Minnesota Mr. Hockey 2 seasons ago as well. Played at Edina, 79-point campaign. 23 of 34 Minnesota Mr. Hockeys have gone on to play for the Golden Gophers. Walker the latest. There was a Minnesota Mr. Hockey who played for Wisconsin recently, Grant Bessie, who actually last week was named the East Coast Hockey League's Player of the Week.
He can always score.
Oh, against the Gophers, too. Here's a chance by Romenko. Hit the goalpost, the crossbar, really. On a feed from behind the nets. Romenko still battling with Inamoto. 2 pipes tonight for the Gophers. They've got a 3-2 lead early in the third. McLaughlin now sweeps it out to the point. They work it around, and a block shot by Wisconsin's Doogie. A foot race, but Brinkman there.
So Motzko wants his teams to play, get puck deep, and then back to the defenseman for shots.
Whistle and a stoppage in play. Number 5 for Minnesota. The extra skater for the Gophers tonight, Matt Denman, defenseman out of Prior Lake, Minnesota.
Bob Motzko's first Big Ten game ever. Big Ten opener for both these teams. In non-conference play, Big Ten posted a .573 winning percentage. Only the NCAA at .684 had a better non-conference winning percentage. And there are certainly more non-conference games the rest of the year, but it pretty much gets serious about Big Ten play now.
Yeah. Although Motzko said that the Big Ten needs to be better in non-conference play, quite honestly.
Yeah. Well, we saw what it did for the NCAA's power ratings. Got Duluth in the tournament. Minnesota was the odd man out last year.
Caulfield found a Sean coming down the left wing. Good stick that time with the Gophers defense, and it sailed out of play, so a face-off to come. Minnesota has a non-conference series at home next weekend against St. Lawrence. First two games of a 6-game homestand. They also have a home non-conference series against Ferris State, December 28th and 29th. The rest of it Big Ten play for the Gophers. Wisconsin still has a non-conference series to play against Denver. January 4th and 5th. Good check by Dominic Mersch on Brent Gates, and he's slow to get up. Mersch can really throw his body around, and Gates felt that one. Here's O'Shawn, stick handles, and a good sliding play by Zulsdorf to break it up. And now here comes Sampo Ranta. Ranta skates past Ass in on the backhand, then the forehand, and maybe Lebedev got a piece of it. Out to the point. Stick handling now. Brinkman backhand shot, missed it. Blocker side. There's Sampo Ranta turned on the Jets, and it's not like Josh S can't skate, but wow. And Ranta is a big young lad, 6'2", 205 pounds. The Colorado Avalanche third-round draft pick who committed to Wisconsin in October of 2016, and signed a national letter of intent. But some admissions issues, among other things, led to Ranta not coming to Madison. Made a phone call to Minnesota. Bob Motzko said he was a gift.
Talked to a lot of scouts, and they say he's a difference maker. Hopefully that won't be the case this weekend. There's a good look at the Finnish freshman.
Yep. Ranta last year played in Sioux City, and his numbers, 23 goals, 37 points. Came off an injury, though. He had 29 goals in 2 years in Sioux City. Won a gold for Finland with the Under-18 World Championship. 78th overall pick in the 2018 draft, Sampo Ranta. Sheehy lobs it ahead to the aforementioned Ranta. Plays keep away from Emberson. Open ice straight away, and he fires one. Wow. But he missed the net. Emberson pressured by Walker. Reverses course now to Miller. Up ahead, Freitag, and he'll come across the line and pitch it in. Knocked down by the back-checking Ranta. Esner on the forecheck. Puck slides out to the blue line, held in by Zimmer. Collected by Freitag. He'll dump it in. About 5 minutes gone by in the third. 3-2 Minnesota. 3 unanswered goals by the Gophers. Knight's tap pass off to Walker with speed. Inamoto tried to cut him off and did just enough to take him offline to the net. And Malone tried to kick it free. Jammed along, and there's Zulsdorf with it. He'll shoot one and miss the cage off the end boards and right to Wisconsin's Max Zimmer. Zimmer to the stick of Johnson, couldn't catch it cleanly. Zulsdorf banks it ahead, and here comes Minnesota on the attack. Romenko, his snapshot blocked by Kalnick. Romenko drops down. Badgers have the puck. Patient pass Malone right to the stick of Tyler Inamoto. They gain the red line and hammer it in left corner to right. Baker there over skates. Now able to pick it up. Gorniak pass to the right wing intended for Doogie. Pop free. S got it. What's he going to do? He rises one too high. Figured he'd shoot from that spot wide open. Doogie's pass for Baker deflected. Zulsdorf's got it now. And his outlet pass deflected, and now the Badgers back to get it.
Badgers only had one shot on goal this third period. Gophers have done a pretty good clamping things down, protecting a 1-goal lead.
Minnesota's outshot Wisconsin now 22-18. Leads 3-2. Romenko will sweep it down in. There's Lebedev now with it. Lebedev won his home debut a couple of weeks ago. A 6-2 decision over Michigan Tech. His first start with the Badgers came in upstate New York against St. Lawrence. A 7-1 victory about 3 weeks ago. Puck is loose. Here's Mersch with it. Hard to the net. Caulfield shot by Mersch. Went off the stick of Brinkman and just bounced right through the crease. And then Wisconsin's Ashawn swept it back to the point, but Emberson was cutting to the middle, and so now Ty Emberson has to get back to play it. Fourth line here for Wisconsin. Mersch and Caulfield and Ashawn. Nice give and go, but Mersch can't catch the pass off the heel of his stick. Ashawn will send it to the point, and Miller. Reed feeds deep to the stick of Roman Ashawn. Mersch wanted it. Now it's loose. Caulfield with a chance. Robson save. Rebound. Where is it? Mersch dug for it. Got knocked down from behind, and the referees blow their whistle to stop play. Oh, the fourth line generating something here, but Matt Robson comes up big and keeps the puck out of his own nets. Caulfield scored the first goal tonight. The Badgers' fourth line right winger, and he and Roman Ashawn and Dominic Mersch almost pulled Wisconsin even here. Still 12:54 left in the third in Madison. 3-2 Minnesota, although Wisconsin's fourth line almost knotted the score.
The best scoring chance of the period. Mersch, Ashawn, Caulfield do it again, but you can see that Robson keeps the puck out of the net despite the best scoring chance of the period for Wisconsin.
Top line out now for the Badgers. Johnson, Malone, and Zimmer matching up with the top line of Minnesota. Waite, Novak, and McLaughlin, at least on the line charts tonight. Kalnick D to Inamoto. Back to Wyatt Kalnick, who has some ice, but passes ahead to Zimmer, and he'll shovel it down deep and took a pretty good hit that time from Tyler Nanny. Gophers have possession. Here's Novak now. Inamoto forced him wide. Puck still loose as Novak lost it, but gathered in by Garrett Waite. Behind the net, centering pass intended for Novak. Too far for him, and now Zimmer works through a stick check and dumps it in. With a head of steam comes Matt Denman. Gains the red line, and he'll spin it down in. Lebedev will sweep it along for Ty Emberson. To the tape of Tarek Baker stick. Sean Doogie. Shot goes off the stick of Sadek and out of play.
Talk about how steady Emberson is. Marco Siki, a Masters developing defenseman. I'm real pleased at the progress of Emberson, who's paired with the more offensively gifted Miller. Yep. That's quite a freshman tandem for Wisconsin.
Emberson has a couple of helpers this season. 2 assists in his last 3 games.
Came from the Eau Claire town that came to the Badgers. Jake McCabe and Jefferson Dahl, Jake Dahl, among others.
Long range shot got through. Robson save. Rebound chance. And Doogie's shot blocked by Phillips. Ranta went to get it, put it between his legs, and Wisconsin's Gorniak took a tumble. Badgers have the puck. Miller. His shot goes off a body or two. Wisconsin's Baker tied up in front of the net, wanted a penalty, nothing called, and a whistle. And the puck played with a high stick, stopping play. 11:32 left in the third. Now Caulfield scored halfway through the first. Kalnick 4 minutes into the second. Badgers had a 2-0 lead, and then it fell apart in a matter of a minute 14 when the Gophers ran off 3 straight goals from Brinkman, Pitlick, and Norman.
And again, they're playing for points tonight, the Big Ten opener. First of 5 straight Big Ten series for Wisconsin before Christmas.
Yep. Badgers 1-4 in Big Ten openers all time. The only time they won a Big Ten conference opener was at Michigan back in 2016. Here's Romenko now across the line. Ran into traffic, and Ashawn now has it. Tries to fight through the pressure from behind and around Zulsdorf, and an interference penalty coming up on defenseman Ryan Zulsdorf, who does not like the call, and I'm not sure Bob Motzko does either.
Badgers get a power play chance and either 4th man advantage of the night. Here's a look at it. A shot again, trying to make something happen. Boy, I can see why Zulsdorf had an objection to that call.
It's the second penalty that Ashawn has drawn tonight against the Gophers. Zulsdorf takes a seat at 8:44 for interference.
But again, that energy line makes something happen. Gives the Badgers a chance to not to score with a 5-on-4.
Power play, though, has not been effective here tonight, generating any chances. Kalnick's shot went through and wide, and then off the end boards, Robson to his left pounces on it with Doogie in the vicinity and the face-off to come. Badgers 0 for 3 on their power play. 1 shot on goal in 6 minutes of man advantage hockey.
That goes without saying in conference games, special teams play are magnified. Got to do well. Kelly killing power play.
Gophers 1 for 2 on their man advantage tonight. Face off to the left of Robson, won by the Gophers, and Phillips gets enough of it to get it out to center. There's Wyatt Kalnick now to Zimmer. Carolina Hurricanes draft choice. Sweeps it down in. Robson first to it, but right back to Zimmer, and he sends it out to Miller now. Pressured by Novak. Doogie didn't have the angle on the pass off the end boards. Malone tries to keep it alive in the attacking zone, but right to Phillips, and he rims it around and out. Badgers haven't been able to gain the zone with speed or really set up at all on their power play tonight. Kalnick drops back to Miller. Has options both wings. Malone, Baker. Back to Malone. And refeeds Kalnick at the point. Now Miller with it. Romenko immediately on him. Miller skates past him and peels back. Kalnick now. Malone. Malone to Kalnick. He wrists one. It hit Doogie in the back and then swept underneath the skate of Kalnick and all the way down. Miller wanted the puck on the right wing. Kalnick elected to shoot it instead, and it never got to the net. Wyatt will try again. Here's Jack Gorniak now. Pass goes off the stick, and it bounces under or over Matthew Freitag's stick as he tried a one-timer on the bouncing puck, and now the Badgers would try again. 25 seconds left. Oh, Gorniak's got some serious speed, but cut off nicely by the defenseman Nanny, and then the Badgers cough it up again, and the Gophers clear again. Some rumblings here at the Kohl Center.
They just haven't done anything with the man advantage tonight. And give the Gophers a lot of credit.
Oh, for sure. Dumped in, and some miscommunication behind the net by the Gophers goaltender Matt Robson and his teammates. Free the puck for Johnson, but Zulsdorf out of the box. 5-on-5 we go. Oh, Estes pass right up the middle, intended for Freitag. Think he got it, the blade of his stick on the puck, but couldn't get directed on net. Now a quick shot back the other way by Walker. Blocked away by Lebedev. Stick handling Ranta, and his backhand got through, I think. Yep, Lebedev with a save behind the net. Lebedev tried to sweep it in front again. It's loose. Out to the point. Shot by the defenseman Phillips, blocked by Wisconsin's S. He just needs to gain the red line and get a change, and he does just that. 8:40 to go here in the third. 3-2 Minnesota in this Big Ten season opener. Tyler Sheehy will sweep it down in. Sheehy with Big Ten Player of the Year a couple of seasons ago when he had 20 goals and 53 points as a sophomore. First-team All-American. Long-range shot off of the left knee of the goaltender Robson. And now a collision at center ice and a penalty coming up on Miller for interfering with Tyler Sheehy. And the Gophers are going to get a power play when we come back. So Wisconsin 0 for 4 on the man advantage tonight, and now the Gophers will get their third crack at it. They're 1 for 2 on the power play so far. An ill-advised penalty by freshman defenseman Keandre Miller. He'll take a seat in the penalty box. Badgers haven't had a lot of good looks tonight. The Gophers are going to have a man advantage when we come back. Here's the penalty on Keandre Miller.
Comes up on Sheehy, who's been taking a couple drama classes over the summer. But it's a penalty, and Minnesota with a power play opportunity with 8:15 left to play.
Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on Fox Sports Wisconsin and Fox Sports North. Brian Posick with Bill Brophy here tonight. 8 minutes to play in the third. Gophers with a 3-goal outburst in 1:14 of the second has them on top. And here's Phillips. He'll fire it into the right corner. Takes a funny hop right to Novak. Big save made by Lebedev. Popped into the air and smacked out of the air by Peter Tischke. The referee right on the goal line said no goal if it crosses the goal line, whether it's in midair or not. It's a goal, and then Novak with another chance, and Lebedev with a glove save. Oh, a funky bounce off the kick plate came free to Novak, and his shot was denied and then came back in the air behind Lebedev, and there was Tischke to knock it out of there. Excellent hand-eye coordination by the Badgers captain.
Novak with a big chance. Again, the only Wisconsin native on the Minnesota roster.
That's
and there's Tischke on the hit and run.
That's tight. That puck was awfully close to going.
And they're going to look at it to make sure
over the goal line, and the referees are going to take a look. Yeah. Andrew Nelson and his crew from Rush Media and Fox Sports are doing an excellent job here tonight. We'll see if we can get an even better look. And here's one right now from overhead.
This should be the definitive shot.
Novak followed up and Tischke got it. Nice play by Peter Tischke to keep that puck out of the back of the net. Otherwise, Wisconsin's facing a 2-goal deficit with 7:41 to play.
Huge play by the Badger captain. Rob Novak, and a senior, played at St. Thomas Academy, even though he's from River Falls, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Two-time champion in the USHL at Waterloo, too. Actually, two-time champion.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. That's the look the referees had on it, and big play by Tischke.
Peter Tischke, who's had a couple of looks at development camps in the National Hockey League. First with the LA Kings 2 years ago, the Pittsburgh Penguins this past season. Undrafted free agent, and developed quite substantially under the tutelage of Marco Siki, and a pass deflected, and Doogie able to poke it out to center, but couldn't win the foot race as Phillips had the angle on the puck. Now here's Pitlick with it. Tyler Sheehy back to Pitlick. Phillips, Novak wants it and gets it. Looking back door, but to Phillips now. Novak again, open man, there's Pitlick, sets and fires. Diving in front of him was Baker. Pitlick missed the net on the drive. Now Novak, Doogie on him, and Kalnick slides over and able to get enough of it out to center. 45 seconds left of the Gophers power play. 1-goal Minnesota lead, getting late here in Madison. Lebedev can't clear, knocked down Sheehy. Novak, now Phillips. What's he gonna do? He shoots one, blocker save made by Lebedev. Loose puck there. Chance for the Gophers to make it a 2-goal lead, but Gates missed it. Badgers clear it to center, then tap back in the zone by Phillips, offside on Minnesota.
A critical series here as Lebedev keeps the puck out of the net. This is a vital penalty kill for Wisconsin. You get the impression the Gophers get a power play goal. That's the dagger. Loose puck. And Caulfield clears it out.
Said Gates took a swing and a miss. It was Sheehy on his backhand as Gates was tied up down on his knees. Badgers able to force the Gophers back into their own zone, wasting more time on this penalty kill. Only 20 seconds left on the man advantage for Minnesota. Loose puck, McLaughlin spun around. Puck is underneath him. Three Badgers trying to knife it free, and finally muscled out by Wisconsin's Roman Ashan. Ashan tied up with Walker far side. Puck slides in front of the Wisconsin net. McLaughlin tried to draw a penalty, but did not get one. And now the Badgers Miller out of the gates, and Wisconsin back at full strength. Now the puck played into the Badgers bench, stopping play.
Yeah, Tischke hauled down McLaughlin behind the play.
Yeah.
TJ Berline says play on, boys. 6:09 left in regulation. We have new overtime rules in the Big Ten Conference this year.
I like them too. 5-on-5 if it's tied after regulation. Full 5-on-5, 5-minute overtime and sudden death overtime. And if it's still tied, each team will receive 1 point in the standings, and then the extra point will be determined via a 3-on-3 overtime session for 5 minutes. And if it's still tied after that, a shootout. Badgers Kalnick with a shot on goal from a tough angle, got the puck back, centering past Malone off the stick of Sadak. Good hustle by Norman to beat Johnson to the puck, and then Malone can't hold the zone, so the Badgers have to touch up. Malone long range, easy stick save for Robson off the high glass. Sadak can't clear, and now Malone from the half boards left fires one at Robson, who made the stop.
Fair shot on goal this period. Badgers just haven't been able to generate much of a forecheck, and really haven't had many quality opportunities. The fourth line, the all-freshman line, came up with an opportunity, but Robson stopped that. There's the new overtime rules.
Yeah.
And the NCAA went into place that, for RPI purposes, a tie will be determined after 65 minutes, and then leagues can do what they choose. That's what the Big Ten elected to do.
Off the face-off, Miller with a rocket, not on goal. Badgers have a chance. Doogie fell to his knees as he tried to finish that play with half the net open, but he stumbled down and never got the shot on goal. Oh, it started with Miller's rocket from the blue line, and then a mad scramble, and Doogie had a chance. 5 minutes left here at the Kohl Center. Badgers had a 2-0 lead early second period, but the Gophers with 3 quick goals midway through the second. Delayed offside. Badgers need to touch up, and actually they'll change now. Here comes Pitlick up the middle. 1-on-4. Mishandled the puck, got it back. Tried to sweep it towards the net off the skate of Tischke. Doogie met with a check by Brinkman at the blue line, and the puck bounced backwards, and now Wisconsin's got it again.
He's stealing that one.
Yeah. Kalnick centering pass, and a collision between two Gophers. Reaching for it, Tischke into the air behind the net. Roman Ashan. Ashan, what's he going to do with it? Pass intended for Freitag off his skate. Sheehy after it, poked it ahead. Freitag able to keep it alive. Now Tischke from Kalnick, and his rising shot, kind of a knuckle puck. Robson up out of his crouch to glove it, and he hangs on. No scoring here in the third after a 4-goal second period. Badgers have had some chances. Here's Doogie, but an excellent defensive play by Brandon McManus. Keeps it a 3-2 Gophers lead. The California kid Brandon McManus helped Shattuck St. Mary's win a national title at the bantam level back in 2014. Chicago steal a Clark Cup in 2017. And here a big defensive play denying Sean Doogie of a game-tying goal.
Yeah, Doogie's looking at that yawning open net, but McManus on the good back check prevents Doogie, the Badgers' top leading goal scorer, from tying the game.
Clock winding down. Good work by Malone to work the puck free, and the slot can't get a shot off. Zimmer does. Pad save made by Robson. Zimmer couldn't elevate that puck, and now Kalnick certainly does. Maybe off the stick of McLaughlin, and well out of play it goes. So they'll drop the puck in the Minnesota zone. With 4:02 left here in the third period of play. Then the series finale tomorrow night, back on the air at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Wisconsin, Fox Sports North, TSN in Canada as well. Glad you're watching wherever you may be. They're expecting a larger crowd tomorrow night. 11,000 tickets sold. Badgers averaged over 10,000 fans per game a year ago. North Dakota led the country for the 7th straight season at 11-4 per game. Here's McManus, lobs it ahead over the stick of Tischke. They'll say icing. Icing on Minnesota. Badgers get an offensive zone face-off. 3:45 left here in the third.
Point of the game where the Badgers have to take some chances, activate their defensemen. Tommy Motzkow, the new Gopher coach, looking to see if his team can protect a 1-goal lead in the final 3:45.
1-goal game in Ann Arbor tonight. Michigan beat Notre Dame 2-1. Penn State won at Robert Morris 7-2. Ohio State shut out Colgate on the road 3-0. Michigan State, tough trip down in Tempe, Arizona against Arizona State.
Yeah, here it's only 82 there today.
Oh, jeez. It's only about 60 degrees warmer than here. Baker's pass off a stick. Doogie will chase it down. Turnaround shot. Not through traffic, but wide. And a good play by McManus again to force the puck through neutral ice and down, and McManus will get a change. So who's going to be the guy for the Badgers to tie this game up, or can the Gophers continue to play well defensively as they have here tonight against the Badgers? Wisconsin does have 29 shots on goal, but not a ton of quality looks.
Certainly none since the second goal, which came early in the second period.
Sadak takes a hit but releases the puck to center. Wisconsin's Mesner taps back to Tischke. Lead feed for Mick Mesner. Too far. Badgers onside though. Freitag kept it alive, then chipped it off the sideboards, and it came free to Jason Doogie. 2.5 minutes left. Kalnick, Freitag in the air. Sadak knocked it down. Nanny can't clear. Freitag keeps it alive, dives for it, but Sadak scoots over and plays the puck out to center. Tischke kicked it back to Sadak now. Sheehy out to center. Yeah, a nice wheeling move by Peter Tischke across the line. Shoots a low shot that's sticked aside by Robson. Zimmer with some forechecking pressure. And pass called against Minnesota. Face off inside the Gophers zone. 1:59 left in the third. A 1-goal Gophers lead.
And with the offensive zone face-off, let's see if Tony Granato elects to pull the goaltender. A lot of time left, some would say, but Tony is not afraid to take some chances. They have notified Lebedeff what they would like him to do. Won't take the time out here.
Face off to Robson's left. And a premature whistle. Something happened there. They're going to drop it again. George Gwozdecki, who took Mark Johnson on his recruiting trip to the University of Wisconsin in 1976. Mark said they just went to Smokies. Well, I saw Gwozdecki when he was the head coach at Denver pull his goaltender with 5 minutes left in the second period. His team was playing so poorly. Here's Zimmer back around the nets. And an open man, elected not to pass. Now he'll shoot, and it goes off the noggin of Robson and out of play. A stand-up head save by Matt Robson.
They talk about how nonchalant Robson is. You can see right there how cool he is. He's taking that one off the melon. Now Granato's going to take his timeout, I think.
That is the case. Badgers call their only timeout with 1:45 left here in period number 3. And will they or won't they pull Daniel Lebedev with 1:45 left? We'll see.
I got to think so.
Well, it's an offensive zone face-off, sure.
Mark Strobel, one of Mike Osiki, the other associate head coach there on the right of your screen, old Minnesota natives. Strobel drawing up the face-off play, and here's Robson. I mean, his latest save.
Henrik Lundqvist has made that part of his repertoire. Yep. Right off the bean, Matt Robson. Oh, there's little Jackson loving every Badger hockey minute he gets. So out for Wisconsin, Kalnick, Malone, Miller, Sean Doogie, Tarek Baker, and Josh S. Nope, Max Zimmer. And for Minnesota, Matt Robson back between the pipes with Jack Ramsey, Clayton Phillips, Brent Gates, Rem Pitlick, and Ryan Zulsdorf. Face off to Robson's left with an empty net to our right. Extra attacker for the Badgers, and Minnesota won the draw. Gates, though, couldn't chip it out. Miller held it in. Foot race near side. Ramsey first to it, tries to two-hand it out. Actually, that was Ramsey, not Phillips. Both are on the ice. Gates after it far side. Bet there by Zimmer. Gophers doing a nice job of just killing clock here. Doogie finally pulled it free. Back to the corner in Malone. To the point, Miller. He shoots one. That's deflected off the inboards, and Robson leans to his left and puts his mitt on top of the puck for another faceoff. 1:16 left.
But again, Minnesota's done a pretty good job ragging time off the clock for 30 seconds after Tony Granato pulls his goaltender. Another big offensive zone faceoff for the Badgers. Minnesota's been very good at faceoff the last 2 periods.
Very good. Badgers won that category in the first, but the Gophers have been able to possess the puck a little bit more thanks to their face-off play. Doogie. Pass didn't get to him. Now Baker's got it. Sweeps one in front right to the stick of Tommy Novak, who banks it off the sideboards, but no angle to the net. The Badgers back to get it. Minute to play in Madison. Badgers had a 2-0 lead. Gophers scored 3 goals in 1:14 of the second period to take the lead. A Sean slow-moving pass right to the stick of Sampo Ranta. Stick handles through 2 or 3 Badgers, but can't get a shot on goal. Pretty nifty stick handling, though, by the freshman forward, Sampo Ranta. Here's Wyatt Kalnick, a half minute to play. He almost fell down as he tried to dump it down in, and then Sheehy can't clear. Long-range shot knocked down in front by Doogie, chipped wide by Baker. Here's Roman Ashawn now to Baker. And he mishandled, got it back, shoveled it back behind the nets. Doogie for Malone, 16 seconds. Oh, here's a shot, big save by Robson. Kalnick can't hold his own. Badgers need to touch up. Oh, a great play setting up Wisconsin's. A shot in front. Now Kalnick, rink-wide pass to Baker. Good stick play by the Gophers. That will do it. Minnesota played excellent defense here tonight and potted 3 goals and steals the Big Ten opener here in Madison.
Well, that man wasn't feeling very good today. That's why he's doing fist bumps instead of handshakes. But Bob Motzko has his first Big Ten win and had to be happy with the way his team played defensively the last 2 periods. After Wisconsin jumped off to a 2-0 lead, Minnesota comes back to steal one in the road. They score 3 goals in a span of 1:14 in the second period and then shut Wisconsin down in the third. You got the goaltending of Robson. Minnesota wins game 1 of this border battle 3-2.
Matt Robson credited with 30 saves here tonight. Lets the flow out of his helmet and will shake hands. So the Big Ten opener for the Badgers and the Gophers, a 1-goal game here at the Kohl Center. And Ryan Norman will get credit for the game winner, a short side shot to the left of Daniel Lebedev, the third of 3 goals in 114, and the Gophers win here tonight by the final score of 3-2, and we'll wrap things up here in just a moment.